Words damals and jedoch. They are Übergangsphrasen, transition phrases for besseres Schreiben, better writing. You remember that on our syllabus we talked about working towards a more complex writing style. So this is one of the ways I'm going to help you do that today. Damals means back then or back in the day, and jedoch means however. You're going to need to know them for your next upcoming quiz. So again, damals, back then or back in the day, jedoch, however. In class, we listened to Max talk about his childhood, and he said the following. Ich hatte jeden Montag Klavierunterricht, was mir nicht so viel Spaß gemacht hat. Aber meine Eltern haben gesagt, dass ich weiter Klavier spielen soll. Und da bin ich auch immer besser geworden und jetzt mittlerweile macht es mir viel mehr Spaß als früher. I've highlighted what I think are the most important aspects of this quotation in terms of tracing how Max changed from when he was a child until now, which is that he didn't used to like piano lessons when he was a child, but as he got older and as he got better, now he likes it a lot more. We're going to try and put that transition, that change, into our own words. So here is a very basic way of doing that. Max hat Klavierunterricht gemacht. War ein Kind. Es hat ihm nicht so viel Spaß gemacht. Ist besser geworden. Jetzt macht es ihm viel mehr Spaß als früher. You probably are reading this going, gee, that's not very good writing, and you would be correct. Specifically, you would want to use longer sentences that are more complex, using conjunctions and verb kickers rather than having simple sentence, period, simple sentence, period. Also, you know that your English teachers would be after you to use more transition phrases to organize your writing. Just stacking a bunch of sentences into the same place does not make them into a paragraph, but connecting them to one another using transition phrases makes them a true paragraph. I've created a structure for you on your Google form to create a better paragraph using two transition phrases, damals, back then, back in the day, and jedoch, however. I've also added the conjunctions als, which is a verb kicker, and und, which is not a verb kicker, and I've added a spot in the middle for you to elaborate, to add some sort of detail in. So if we take my not very good paragraph from before and put it into this structure, we would do the following. For the first phrase, damals, I'm starting a sentence with an additional word. I'm going to treat damals, which is an introductory phrase, like I would a time expression. That is, when I start a sentence with it, I put the conjugated verb next. So I'm going to take my first sentence and make it damals hat Max Klavierunterricht gemacht. I put hat in the second position there because it's my conjugated verb. It needs to go after my introductory phrase. Now I have the conjunction als, meaning when. This is when he was a child. Remember, when is a verb kicker, so it's going to come out as als ein Kind war. Then I can add in any details where I elaborate. For example, es hat ihm nicht so viel Spaß gemacht, or he also talks about seine Eltern haben gesagt, dass spielen sollte. So whatever additional detail you can provide fits well there about when he was a child. Then I have my transition, jedoch, that cues my listener or my reader that I'm talking about a change, in this case a change from then till now. This is also an introductory phrase, so I'm going to have my conjugated verb next. Jedoch ist besser geworden und jetzt macht es ihm viel mehr Spaß als früher. You'll notice that because und is a coordinating conjunction, it doesn't kick verbs anywhere. I act as though it almost isn't there. So I have und, then I have jetzt, then I have macht, my conjugated verb. When I read this all together, I have damals hat Max Klavierunterricht gemacht, als ein Kind war. Es hat ihm nicht so viel Spaß gemacht. Seine Eltern haben gesagt, dass spielen sollte. Jedoch ist besser geworden und jetzt macht es ihm viel mehr Spaß als früher. So you can see how the paragraph, first of all, sounds more adult and more complex, and second of all, flows together much better. Now I'm going to have you try this with a different quotation. Max erzählt weiter. Ich habe nicht nur Fußball gespielt, sondern auch Leichtathletik. In Leichtathletik war ich besonders gut im Sprinten und im Hochsprung und das hat mir viel Spaß gemacht. Aber ich dann in die 6. Klasse gekommen bin, konnte ich kein Leichtathletik mehr machen, weil es gleichzeitig mit dem Fußballtraining war. Also musste ich eins davon ausfallen lassen und ich habe mich für Leichtathletik entschieden. I've highlighted some of the things that I think are important for him talking about Leichtathletik, track, including that it was until 6th grade, that he had particular events that he was good at, that it happened at the same time as Fußballtraining, as soccer practice, and that he ended up having to drop one, which ended up being track. Take a minute to write your own summary using the structure on your Google worksheet, and then come back here and we'll check it together. Okay, let's check how you summarized Max's story about track. You may have used slightly different wording than I did, or slightly different vocabulary or word order, and that's fine as long as your conjugated verbs are in the right spot and as long as you're keeping those key details where they go. I put, damals hat Max Leichtathletik und Fußball gespielt, als in die 6. Klasse gekommen ist. I phrased it as when he got to 6th grade, because he says it was in 6th grade that he had to give up one of his sports. For elaborating, you could include war sehr gut im Hochsprung. You could include es hat ihm viel Spaß gemacht. Then we transitioned to talking about what happened when he got to 6th grade. Jedoch war Leichtathletik gleichzeitig mit dem Fußballtraining und Leichtathletik musste ausfallen. He had to drop track. Last, I'm going to have you tell a similar story about a change from your own childhood. I have a chart for you on your Google page for you to brainstorm what you're going to talk about before you do your writing. If you want to brainstorm in English, then you'll be putting your writing all into its sort of final form at once. If you're having a hard time coming up with something to write, brainstorming in English might be easier. Or you could decide to brainstorm in German, come up with the vocab now, and then implement it into the structure that I've given you. So brainstorm in German or in English, and when you're done, put together your sentences about your childhood.